Good morning, welcome to the CBS AM debrief this Tuesday the 27th of July, just coming up on to 9 AM here in the Sydney office, and a little bit of reason to be fairly optimistic if you're long at the moment. If you're not long, well, you're short, maybe not, but certainly could lead out of the United States with earnings reporting including FedEx suggesting an improved outlook there. That's seen the Dow lift to a 2-month high, and also some really quite spectacular turnaround in the US housing data. I'll just bring that up here to take a look. So new home sales, whereas previously we had a number of 267,000 new homes in the previous. That was a negative number, and so that was the revised number downwards from the forecast number of 310,000. The actual number came out at 330,000, and then really impressive data for new home sales for month-on-month to June, up 23.6%. Forecast was only for 3.3, and previous figure, again revised down, was 36.7%. So if we were looking for a signal that suggested that we may be seeing the bottom here, that may be drawing a bit of a long bow, but certainly, to my mind at least, very, very encouraging. So we'll just have to see how that pans out. Certainly that's suggesting a stronger open on our local market, and we're just coming up towards this 4,500 level on the ASX S&P 200 cash index here. If we take a look at some of the other numbers, yes, we have the share price index at 4502, up 26. So I'd suggest a trading range today somewhere between 45.60 and perhaps 44.60 and 45.40 or thereabouts. Let's just check some of those other index values. So the Dow was up 100 points, or nearly 1%, to 10,525. The S&P 500 at 1,115, up 12, and the Nasdaq at 2,296, up 26. Over in Europe, the FTSE was up 38 to 53.51, CAC up 29 to 36.36, and the DAX at 6,194, which was up 27, or just under 0.5%. Back to our region, the Nikkei is, looking at the index figures there, we want to be looking at the futures. Nikkei suggested down 20 points to 9,470, and the Hang Seng at 20,837 is down 81, pointing down 81. Take a look at the futures. Commodities, with crude at 78.98, which was even. Coffee at 165.60, down 0.4. Corn at 378, down 6.5. Cotton at 76.49, down 1.15. Oats at 226.25, which was down 2.5. And rough rice at $10.17 is down 10.5 cents. Soy 9.66, down 15.5. Sugar at 18.62 was up 0.36, and wheat at 5.89.5 was down 6 3/4. Wool at 9.35 was even. Copper at $8.22 and a third was up 3.8 cents. Gold at $11.87 was down 4.6, and silver at $18.20 was up just 0.099. Take a look now at currencies. Euro was buying 1.2988 US dollars. The pound was buying 1.5484 US dollars. US dollar was buying 86.79 yen, and the Aussie was buying 90.18 US dollars. US dollar was buying Canadian 1.0322 and 1.0489 Swiss francs. Now we'll take a look at the economic calendar. We just looked at those figures for housing data out of the States, which, as I mentioned, certainly looking very encouraging. We have closer to home at around 10 a.m. Australian Conference Board leading index for May, due out around 10 o'clock. No suggested figures there. Then in Eurozone, German Consumer Confidence Survey for August, suggested figures there of 3.5, both forecast and previous. Then the Swiss CBS Consumption Indicator for June. Then later on this afternoon, Euro-German Import Price Index, year on year. That's considered to be a highly significant number, with a forecast of 8.6 and a previous of 8.5%. And then finally, out of the US, Standard & Poor's Case-Shiller Home Price Index for May, with a previous figure of 144.56. Let's take a look at some of the other markets here, including the Aussie dollar, which is now broken, as we said a moment ago, well and truly above 90 cents to be here at $90.17. Can't suggest too much here other than to continue to trade the trend. If we get more of this supportive data out, then certainly as a global growth linked currency, we expect the Aussie to keep pushing higher here. So suggested strategy might be to buy on dips. Just taking a look at a little update here for people that are following the rough price warrant contract. It's actually off a little bit here today, down at $10.18, having been up in the higher tens. Now this number here actually is for the rough price continuous contract, which means that we can look at all of the data going back historically. We're not limited to just the 3 months of the futures contract. But let's bring up that November contract, since that's the one that we're actually looking at, and that'll give us a more accurate reflection on price. So yes, $10.42.5 there. So I don't think anything to be too alarmed about here at this point. Just perhaps a little bit of a retracement before hopefully we move on to make higher highs and look to $11 as the next port of call. So I think that just about wraps up the AM debrief for the 27th of July. Thanks as always for your attention. We'll speak again soon. Bye for now.